Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are going to look at some absolute mid right here. The possibly the biggest fumble of this celebration, maybe. I don't know. Is it? Is that an over an exaggeration? I don't know. I posted a tweet last night. It is actually mind-boggling to me. Bro is flabbergasted, as the meme would say, that they released the EZA for these guys on the same day that they released the EZA for STR Cooler, who is hands down the best EZA TUR in the game, and then they bring this out at the same time. Like, it's always funny when we get an EZA in a celebration, and then we get an EZA in the very next celebration, and it's not as good. Like, that's always really frustrating. It's always like, why did they do this? Well, yeah, not only did it come out, like, around the same time, it came out on the same day. And this unit had potential for an EZA. I could have seen an EZA for them that would have been good, right? But sadly, that is not what we got. I gave them a sticker because they're not going to get any attention from me at all after this video, so thought I might as well give them something. It's not the worst, but it's obviously not that great. So let's have a look at them. So Terrifying Conquerors, 3 key, 140%, so probably not going to be using them as a leader at any point. Raises attack for 1 turn, does supreme damage, and lowers attack and defense. And then their passive is attack and defense 40% per Terrifying Conquerors category ally on the team. That has no cap, so if you are running a full Terrifying Conquerors team, then they are getting 210% attack and defense if you include the friend as well. Then they get 3 key and launch 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super when there is an ally whose name includes Cooler on the team, but obviously not them. They have a medium chance to dodge and a medium chance to guard when there is an enemy whose name includes Goku. So there's a couple of things straight off the bat, right? If that medium chance to guard and medium chance to dodge was just free in their kit, that would make them way better, obviously. Medium chance to do anything is, you know, not great, but the fact that it's then also gated behind you have to fight a Goku is pretty terrible. And then by having a Cooler on the team, they can get additional super attacks. So realistically, they could, you know, make some other minor tweaks, but they should have added Raises defense for 1 turn onto this as well. Because then on the turns where you get, like, the 4 super attack turn, they could potentially be looking pretty good defensively. And then the other thing that sucks, I posted a screenshot, is their links. If we want to run a full Terrifying Conquerors team, which I did for this video, unless you're running their SSR, which is just the Thouser, or the AGL SR Thouser, then you get down to like characters that share 4 links. None of them are Terrifying Conquerors. I was going to run, because we're running Cooler's team, right, whose leader skill is Movie Bosses or Terrifying Conquerors. I was going to run the Physical LR Broly trio, because they share 4 links, but they're not a Terrifying Conqueror unit, so that means that even though they're going to have a unit that shares an extra link, they're missing then 40% attack and defense out of their passive. So then while scrolling down the list of characters they share 3 links with, a ton of these aren't Terrifying Conquerors either. And the one that we finally got to that shares 3 links is this Sealus, who he should be getting an EZA, I think, this year with the Hero Celebration in November, but currently, like, he's basically unrunnable in difficult content. So their best linking partner, who is actually a Terrifying Conqueror, is also a unit that you're probably not going to use, at least for now, right? Now, they do share Brainiacs, which is 10% attack and defense, Cold Judgment, which is 20% defense, and then Shocking Speed, which is 2 key and 5%. Sorry, I was looking at the level 1 ones. Brainiacs is 15% attack and defense, Cold Judgment is 25% defense, and then Shocking Speed is key 2 and 5% defense. So when they're linked up with him, they're getting 45% extra defense, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we need to see them together. They're not on the same rotation. I can't put Golden Freezer in slot 1 because he'll probably kill even if we just get a normal attack. On this rotation, we literally only have Fierce Battle, so they are at 185k defense. And that's it, right? Because they don't raise defense on super. They have no defense raise like mechanic at all, so that's just their defense. And they didn't guard, so fortunately we didn't get super attacks. They didn't dodge any attacks either. Now, 3 million attack, I'd have to say, without a support on the rotation, that's actually not that bad. but it's also not good enough for them to have such terrible defense, right? Because if you think about another recent EZA, being the... Actually, yeah, we can just leave Cooler in slot 1. This event's easy enough. I'm only even doing this event because then we're fighting a Goku. So we can actually see, like, you know, their full potential of the stuff they can do in their kit. Because, you know, I mean, the Legendary Vegeta event, I'd be worried about them getting killed, potentially. But, what was I saying? I don't even remember now. Yeah, that's it. So, recent EZAs. So, I'm talking about their defense, right? 3 million attack stat. Not necessarily terrible. They raise attack for 1 turn. So if they do get multiple supers, that is going to be bumping up. And then the total damage that they do, if they're doing 3 or 4 supers, not necessarily terrible. It's not great, obviously. But their defense is just not good enough for them to only be hitting that hard. And what I was going to go on to say is, recent EZAs, we look at units like Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. People don't like his defense. And like Rainbow on a team even without support, after supering, he's at like 400k. That is an acceptable level of defense when you consider that he's then also doing like a 9 million attack stat. Now, these guys hitting 3 million whilst having... this is with all those defense links active now. 268k defense. Not great. So for a unit to have that low defense, we would expect them to either be a unit that is supporting the team or is doing a ton of damage, and they are not going to be doing either of those things. Just overall, their design just is very confusing to me. So we get a dodge, so that's good. 2.96, wow. Shockingly bad. Oh yeah, because Sealess doesn't have Fierce Battle, so we're missing out on an attack link. So we actually did a lower attack stat than the first turn. Then we got up to 3.1. That is the first additional from their passive. Then we get the normal, and then we get the hidden potential super. So there you go, 3 super attacks, but even in total that doesn't add up to 10 million attack stat, like, for all of them put together. And their defense is only 250k. Now they are guarding as well this turn, so guard on top of the defense is not necessarily the worst either. But 250 is just not enough, right? Like, people meme about Tech Gohan. Obviously, some people do still love him. Some people like to show screenshots of him barely built up, getting destroyed by bosses. I don't know why they do that, but, like, him barely built up with his guard, he's still slightly better defensively than these guys are. To put that into perspective. So, I honestly do not understand what they were cooking with this guy's EZA. Like I said, they had the potential to be good. Because Cooler is so good, EZA STR Cooler is so good as well, you only have to have a Cooler on the team. They don't even have to be on the turn. So this unit could have been really, really good as a support. I think maybe Cooler's team would be too OP if that was the case. But they could have had like a Scouter effect. They could have just been a support unit. And then, like I say, they could have raised defense for 1 turn on Super. And then, think about that last turn that we got. 3 super attacks. They dodged, they guarded. If they raised defense on each of their supers, like, after those 3 super attacks, their defense would have actually been reasonably good when coupled with the fact that they have guard. And then you could probably make an argument that you could actually run them, even against, like, maybe some red zone bosses where well, I guess they have guard, so it doesn't matter, but the way guard works, you still actually do take some extra damage from units that you have like type disadvantage. Let's put them here so they have Fierce Battle. This Sealess unit, I actually really wanted to do a showcase for him. He gets a 200% leader skill from Cooler because he's on Terrifying Conquerors and Transformation Boost, but obviously he doesn't have his EZA yet. He gets all of his stats on Super, so obviously his start of turn stats are not great, 60%. And then he gets 120% when performing a super attack. I'm actually really excited to see his EZA later on this year. I think he could actually be very, very good. Because he does have big bad bosses. So he has a lot of potential. Yeah, 3.2 with support. Not great nowadays, obviously. But he's going to be getting an EZA, so that'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, there's a ton of things that they could have done for these guys to make them actually worth using. So when they give units an EZA like this, it just makes you wonder, like, why they bother. Because I can't see any real reason to use this unit. Like, with support on the rotation, the attack stats that they're doing, like, pretty reasonable. We actually got to about 12 million attack in total. But I should have checked their defense to start a turn. But with the 40% from Cooler, from Garlic Jr., they're going to be over 300k, which, again, it's not the worst, but when it comes to, like, you know, Red Zone Broly, whose super attack does over 1 million damage, are we going to be running this unit? And then, of course, Garlic Jr. gets us killed. Amazing. This whole video is just mid. Let me show them in a stage where they can lower attack and we've actually got, like, multiple enemies. Okay, so I've jumped into Terrifying Conqueror's Super Battle Road, and I've switched out the Tech Final Form Cooler for the STR one, because obviously against multiple enemies, he provides that buff to Terrifying Conquerors, so he will be giving the buff to them, which is pretty good. So let's go ahead and do this, and then... They're not getting attacked this turn, and we're not fighting a Goku, so obviously they don't have the chance to dodge or guard or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and Whis here, since it doesn't really matter how much damage they would potentially take. We're not going to see them get hit, and let's see what they can do on this turn. Because at least in Super Battle Road, where you can lower attack, like maybe they would be useful there. But again, the problem is, Cooler's team is so good. Right, Terrifying Conquerors just on its own as a category, let alone factoring in movie bosses. Terrifying Conquerors as a category is actually really, really good, right? You have a ton of options. So are these guys going to make the cut? I don't really see it, to be honest. Now, we did some decent damage here, over 3 million on both the attacks. We didn't get lucky with the RNG for the supers from their passive, but we did get the hidden potential. Did we take out Piccolo? I think we might have done. So, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, this is only normal Super Battle Road, right? Because it's Terrifying Conquerors, which is one of the later stages. This was one of the ones that wasn't, like, the easiest to know I am. It wasn't actually too bad, to be honest. But, I don't really want you on the same rotation, but we should... Let me float off Cooler, just because I want him to be supporting the Cooler Armored Squadron, like, as soon as possible. So, I'm going to float him off here. He's providing the extra support, so these guys are going to be going off here. We still got the Whis active as well, so... Yeah, see, I mean, you can see we do still take quite a bit of damage from this stage. This stage is pretty hard-hitting. Now, honestly, I will say, I was a little bit surprised with their attack stat being as high as it is, even though it's still not great, right? I've already covered the fact that I think their attack stat is definitely not good enough for how bad they are defensively. Because I don't mind glass cannon units, right? Like, Cooler is my favourite unit in the game at the moment. I still think he's #1 on Global. And he can be a glass cannon, depending on your RNG, right? Obviously, the EZA for the STR Cooler has kind of shored up some of the issues with his defense. But I don't mind running glass cannon units, right? And if you get bad luck, a glass cannon unit can get you killed, and it is what it is. But the Cooler Armored Squadron, they're like a weak glass cannon. They don't have great defense, but they don't put out good enough damage to make up for how bad their defense is, in my opinion. Alright, so let's do this. So we don't have a Goku on rotation. So, yeah, we got 268k defense. I think we have to use an item again, right? Because, man, like, they're getting attacked by Piccolo, so we'll have to lower his attack. So let's go for lowering Piccolo's attack. If we could get multiple supers, then obviously we would be able to tank Piccolo reasonably well. But the problem is, it's just when it comes to Super Battle Road, with 270k defense, even if any of these units, aside from, I guess, maybe the Int Master Roshi, super attacks the Cooler Armored Squadron in the middle, and we don't have an item active, we probably die. Which is unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead, let's pop the mouse item, because this should nerf the enemies, like, quite nicely. And let's see if Silas can actually... I don't know if he probably can, right? He's pre-EZA, he's not very good. So yeah, honestly, going into the start of the recording, I actually really thought that they were going to be even worse than this, right? So, like, we saw that turn where they got 3 supers that were getting to the point of being at, like, 4 million. That's actually pretty good. And against a Goku enemy, you factor in, like, the chance to dodge, chance to guard, even though I don't like chance to guard, obviously. It's not necessarily the worst. But I think the biggest issue is just the fact that they don't link up with the team well at all for the units that you're actually going to run. And then Terrifying Conquerors just has so many better options. So yeah, I don't understand what they were doing with this EZA. They should have made their EZA good enough that you want to run them on the team with the STR cooler that EZA'd at the same time. But obviously, again, because he supports transformation boost when there's only one enemy, he doesn't even support them when you're not in, like, Super Battle Road. So all the most difficult content in the game, they're not getting that extra support, which is kind of unfortunate. So let's go ahead and do this. I think, is it the final fight of this stage we fight a Goku? So I would at least like to see that if we can. So we have the mouse item active, and we have a defense up from the Android 8, so we should be good here. The coolers, I mean, double cooler rotation with the support from Garlic Jr., which means they have big bad bosses and the 40% support from Garlic Jr.'s passive. But you guys have to let me know, what do you think of the cooler armored squadron? It's just such a huge miss. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, right? I mean, I didn't ever use them before this, and I'm not going to use them ever again. So, I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, but the point is, they could have made their EZA good. And that's kind of, like I said already, the whole point of an EZA. So, doing a bad EZA just seems completely pointless. And they really needed to give them something to supplement how bad their links are. Because remember, again, we're seeing them at their, like, full potential on a team that is full Terrifying Conquerors, which means if you want to run them on Cooler's team, this LR Cooler, you then hamstring yourself into you have to run all Terrifying Conquerors. So if you want to run like Tech Janemba as a support, or like LR Janemba as well, or maybe on the other rotation, in Broly, who's still a really good unit that's good on Cooler's team, and every time you add in another unit that isn't a Terrifying Conqueror, then this unit just gets worse. And of course, we finally get STR Cooler with them, and it's when we only have one enemy left. So we're going to go ahead and do this and just hope we don't get supered in slot 1. So at least at the start of the next fight, we will actually have the Cooler support for the extra 50%. But yeah, I mean, we still had the effect of the Android 8 up on this turn, and they still took that much damage from a normal attack, type neutral. So very unfortunate. Again, obviously, they're not getting support on this rotation. I think the only link, I should have double checked, but I think the only link they share with STR Cooler, where's STR Cooler on the list here? I think they might only share Fierce Battle with him. Or do they have another link as well? I'm not even seeing STR Cooler under the list of units they share 2 links with. Unless I'm just not seeing him. So, I mean, we'll double check, I guess, when we get the rotation back again. Oh, and we don't even fight a Goku in this stage anyway, apparently. I think Wicked Bloodline you do, but obviously they're not on there, so rip, I guess. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna Ghost Usher this turn. And then I need to make sure we don't kill like everyone. So I'm only gonna get the 12 key super for you, and then we'll attack you. In fact, we won't even super. Like, let's not bother supering, I guess, and then we'll attack you. We just won't get supers for anyone. So we can actually see the... So Cooler Armored Squadron on this next final upcoming turn, they're going to have 50% support from STR Cooler, as well as, I don't know, who else is on the rotation? Oh, it's the other LR Cooler, so he's not going to provide anything extra. And yeah, this will be them at their best for Super Battle Road, I guess. Where at least they do lower attacks, so they kind of are providing something. But again, if you still haven't beaten like Terrifying Conqueror's Super Battle Road, and you have the new LR Cooler, you have STR TUR Cooler, there's just so many better options for this team. Oh yeah, they do literally only share Fierce Battle. Amazing. So 200k defense, or 210 I guess technically, with 50% support and only Fierce Battle active. That is very much not very good. So I guess let's Whis here and see if we can actually survive the turn. If we get multiple supers, we can take out Kibito here and then actually still do some damage to the Kai. But let's see. I mean, we'll end it here anyway with this turn. But let me know what you guys think down below. Am I being too hard on them? I don't think so. They seem just so bad. Like, that was from the Kai. That was type advantage with a Whis, and we took that much damage. That is just, yeah, it's just not good enough. And unfortunately, we've seen so much good stuff in this celebration. Like STR Cooler, again, I'm going to say it again. He got his EZA on the same day, and he's absolutely insane. So there's no excuse for them to be this bad. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. That is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.